And off we go from Denver. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. They're led onto the field by their quarterback, a man who's made quite the name for himself in the NFL, and that's Russell Wilson.
His ability to adjust on the fly is almost unmatched in the game right now because it leads to a couple of snaps per game where you just sit back and ask yourself, how did he pull that off? Opponents can practice and prepare each and every week all they want. But this guy, he is hard to corral.
It's one play at a time, baby.
Once again, we got to get it.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And that's not the start that he was looking for, as he's going to be met and dropped behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. Second down.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
On 2nd and 11 now. Wilson. And right away he lost the football. And the Raiders pick it up. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. Not only a fumble loss there, but a fumble lost on your first drive in your own territory.
Now you're dealing with a lot of stuff here because you feel bad going off the field because you gave up the football. How does your own defense feel now having to go out there and stop them when the momentum is clearly shifted in their favor?
So here are the Raiders now with great starting field position. They'll be led out by their quarterback standing at 6'2" from Eastern Illinois. It's Jimmy Garoppolo.
And you'd think as a young QB there'd be some nerves leading an offense out to start a game, but haven't seen any sign of them right now. And speaking with him earlier this week, sensed that the pressure wouldn't get to him. He feels comfortable being the face of this offense and shouldering the expectations on game day, even if he doesn't quite have the years of experience other quarterbacks do.
After the fumble recovery, it's Garoppolo. He's going to take a shot for the end zone. And he overshot him there. It's out of bounds, incomplete.
What I loved about meeting with these coaches before the game is we didn't even have to ask any questions. They told us that they were going to be aggressive and push the ball downfield. They weren't successful on that play, but look for them to try it again later.
So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. They fake the give. Now Garoppolo looks to throw. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Jacoby Myers, 28 yards. And the Raiders take the early turnover and convert it into an opening touchdown. Well, Charles, here in their opening series, they said they had certain plays scripted for certain players. That looked like a well-designed play to get one of their top targets involved.
Yeah, let's face it, Brandon. A player of his talent is a problem for any opponent to defend, and we saw it right there. They tried to deny an open lane to him. He still outplayed the coverage and scored the early touchdown. Good luck trying to figure out how to defend him as this game moves on.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. This one fielded at the 5. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. So now the second drive offensively coming up for the Denver Broncos. They had the fumble on the last drive, wound up leading to the opening touchdown. Now they'll try again here, 1st and 10. Wilson. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. Second down.
So many things have to go right for any passing play to work out. Quarterback has to understand the defense, deliver an accurate ball. Receiver has to concentrate and bring it in. Somewhere along the assembly line, something was off with that one.
To throw again on second down. Wilson, he'll get this one to Patrick. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. His first catch there, good for 10 yards and a first down.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. From the shotgun, Wilson. Finding the open man, and that's Tim Patrick. That'll go for a gain of 7, and that's going to bring up second down.
And I think this is a route we'll see more of as this game goes on because with his speed, they want to get him the ball in space on drag routes just like this. They want him to get the ball and run after the catch. Good job there, though, holding him for a short gain.
On second down, Williams. And he'll only get a yard to bring up 3rd and 1. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. On 3rd down, here's Williams. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave them with a 4th down.
4th and short, partner. I mean, this would be a really risky call. Here we are in the first quarter.
On the wrong
Side of the field. But, boy, what a tone setter that would be to go for it and get it, wouldn't it?
You're gritty today. I like it.
I'm feeling it.
Riley Dixon now to punt it away. On the return, Carter. They'll score that a 36-yard punt, and they will take over 1st and 10. Second drive of the game coming up for this Las Vegas offense. They have to be thrilled with that first drive. They got him the touchdown. Now they'll be looking to make it a 2-score advantage here on the road.
And you know they spent all week in practice, in meetings, talking about taking an early advantage. Being the road team, going up a score, that takes the crowd out of the game and puts some doubt in the minds of their opponents.
Here's Garoppolo on 1st and 10. And that's going to be too high, out of bounds and incomplete.
How about this offense already feeling good about themselves with a touchdown already in their first drive? They've certainly come out firing, even though that one was incomplete.
With the 7-0 lead, more apt to take a shot like that downfield?
Hey, you're one to the good. Go ahead and try and press your advantage.
On play action, now Garoppolo. And this is caught right along the sideline. What a job of keeping the toes in bounds there. A gain of 32 that time.
We always talk about the guy who paid off the play, don't we? A guy who caught it or ran it. But how about the elements that go into making a big play? This one in particular, able to scan the field, pocket held up nicely. What a terrific job by the offensive line. The route, well run, and the football, right on the money.
So the big play moves him all the way across midfield to the 40 now for 1st and 10. First carry for Josh Jacobs. A good move on the carry, but still brought down just inside the 40. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Oh, there's plenty of traffic waiting for him up the middle. But give him credit, he tried barreling through anyway. They're fortunate to get a yard out of that one.
Here's 2nd and 9. Play action. Garoppolo. And he wisely will throw that one away.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
They'll need to get it to the 30 for a first. This is third down. Looking to throw, Garoppolo. He's got a man open. It's Hunter Renfrow. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 22-yard line. A nice pickup of 17 yards.
Well, as a coach, you absolutely love seeing your offense find their rhythm early, and that's exactly what we've seen so far. They had a touchdown on their opening drive, and now they connect here for another nice gain for a first down. This offense is moving the ball well, exactly as he drew it up in practice.
On first down, Garoppolo. And that one incomplete, but now a penalty flag coming in late. That might be PI.
Defense. What's he talking about, ref?
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. Inside the red zone, it's Garoppolo. Caught on the right side by Adams. Yeah, he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard.
Me and you, baby. Me and you.
From the 5 now, 2nd and a yard. Now Garoppolo. Touchdown! Austin Hooper. A 5-yard touchdown. And the Raiders lead this now 13-0 here in the opening quarter of the ball game. Another impressive drive, so they're 2 for 2, 2 touchdowns. Charles, a great start to this ball game for them.
And one of the words that's really worked its way into our lexicon is stacking. They've stacked momentum each time out, and not only on offense. Between those touchdowns, defense held, forced a punt to get the ball back, and they've played awfully well in this one. Both sides playing at optimum level.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. Taking it about the 1. And some good special teams coverage as they bring him down just outside of the 15. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. Let's see if they can do better here on this drive.
Let's go. Anytime that ball comes to me, I'm trying to take it to the house.
So 1st and 10 here for Wilson and the Broncos at their own 16. Now it's Wilson. This one swung out to Williams. And they'll get him down here at the 23.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
Now an option play on 2nd down. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the keeper, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. Well, for that being an option play, there really weren't too many options available for him, were there?
No, there weren't, and at least he was able to get back to the line of scrimmage, so they didn't lose anything, but you're exactly right. Nowhere to go.
14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Second quarter about to begin from Denver. It's the Broncos in possession of the football as they've got it with a third down coming up. Now a give up the middle to Williams. And boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. Just a gain of 2 there, and it's going to bring up a fourth down. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Let's go now.
Here's Riley Dixon now as he'll punt it away for the second time. Oh, good move. A nice return that time of about 14 yards. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. And now here come the Raiders. It has been about as perfect of a start to this game as these guys could have asked for, Charles. They've scored on their first 2 drives. They still haven't given anything up on the other side of the ball, so they can already make this a 3-score game here if they can come away with points on this drive.
Yeah, they're almost pushing them to the brink, aren't they, partner? Almost to the point now where it's a loss of words for me, which I know would excite all of our viewers, but you're just now supposed to see that type of dominance so quickly in a game like this. Everything they've done has been working so far. Offense, defense, you name it, it's going well for them.
And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down.
There's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
Second down, Jacobs once more. And he takes it past the 45 and down at the 46.
Not a ton of room available on that one, but he made use of what space was available and gained decent yardage.
2 minutes gone by, second quarter. Oh, and the hard count might have got him. This might be a first down. So 5 yards there as one of the big guys up front moved.
And in a 4-3 front, you've got the 2 defensive tackles right near the football. I know there's a lot of movement around there, but they're always taught to have one eye on the football. Apparently, that didn't happen.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. Garoppolo now. And that one off the mark behind him, incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. To throw is Garoppolo. A pass complete downfield to Renfro. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. 27 yards there, a first down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
On play action, it's Garoppolo. That's caught by Myers. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards.
Well, that certainly has to feel good, and it's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
Two big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Jacobs will get down close to the goal line, but not in, as he'll be marked down at the 1. He'll get 2 out of that run, and it's going to bring up a 2nd and goal.
Good work there, holding them out on 1st down, and this is going to be a battle down here on the goal line. Can they hold their ground for 2, maybe even 3 more plays?
2 of their 3 red zone trips so far they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on 2nd and goal. And this time they were waiting for him, as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them, but they did do a nice job there, forcing a loss on that play.
Third down and goal. This Denver defense trying to hold up for one more play. They'll run it with Jacobs. And this time he is in. Yes. Josh Jacobs taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Raiders have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns. And they would not be denied on the ground, powering it in just 1 play after they got stopped short.
And how about how many tight ends were on the field? Because in today's NFL, we think of the tight end more as a pass catcher. But this group, they tell them you've got to be able to run block to stay on this team. And they committed to it and got it done right there.
Carlson on for the PAT. And it is now 21-0. So that drive goes 8 plays. And it was capped off by a touchdown run from Josh Jacobs. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. This is taken just shy of the 10. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here, because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession. But I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer, because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit. And if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. First down. It's been a very one-sided game so far. They got to change what they're doing right now, don't they? You can't wait till the halftime speech to make an adjustment.
No, you can't, because if you're doing it right, you're adjusting from series to series, and they need a big adjustment here to try and put some points on the board.
Throwing now, Wilson on first down. Bite, and he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
3 scores down, not even a halftime yet. They are not getting much generated offensively. They've got to figure it out.
It's tough because this defense just seems to be playing with so much confidence right now.
They really are. They are on their toes, and they're getting at them.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. We remind you that coming up at halftime, Jonathan Coachman will be alongside. He'll have highlights and analysis from Orlando of this first half of action. And nothing doing here as this time the run maybe gets him back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Again, it's Williams. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's Riley Dixon now as he's on to punt for Denver. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. A nice job getting free on the return for 13 yards. Las Vegas' offense back out there ready to go. And now consider the lead. The question is, how much is good enough? Are you going for more?
It's the NFL. There's never enough, I believe, because they get reeled in all the time when you sit on the ball. I think that they will try and move the ball downfield and try and squeeze a few more points out of this first half. They'll be careful. They'll be a little bit cautious at times, but also they will attack downfield and try and get in position for at least 3 points.
Garoppolo on first down. That one to the sideline, and a nice catch there. He stays in bounds, but a penalty marker is down as well. Well, Charles, sometimes we talk about the lengths officials sometimes go to protect star quarterbacks, but that was tough to argue against.
Yeah, and I'm sure that everyone's going to say, hey, we're going to administer the penalty the same way for all quarterbacks. But when it's a star back there, even more so are they going to be diligent about throwing the flag.
So now a fresh set of downs, 1st and 10 after roughing the passer. Working from the gun, Garoppolo. Throwing middle, and it's complete. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 40.
Let's just call it what it is. This has been a flat-out struggle for this defense all game long. They've really had a hard time slowing them down. And while I'm not big on speeches and guys jumping up and down, they might need their team leader on defense to get in their base right now and light a fire under these guys. They've got to start playing better assignment football and start getting guys on the ground.
Garoppolo now, first down throw. He's going to sling this deep downfield. Touchdown Raiders. 3 touchdown passes now for Jimmy Garoppolo. And the Raiders are able to widen their lead here in this first half.
That score that they just gave up there, that's a tough one for their defense to swallow because they've had a tough time through the first 2 quarters. They really were determined to get a stop there, unable to do so. That makes their comeback hopes that much more difficult.
Carlson now to add the extra point. It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now. Pretty clean and simple there. Just 2 plays. The long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. This is taken just shy of the 10. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. The Broncos going to go on offense now late in this first half. And with a little under a minute remaining, they may try to put something together here just to try to cut into that deficit. On first down, Wilson.
Got his man. It's Dulcich.
Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts, as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in half number one.
Let's go, baby. Turn it up. Come on, baby.
Working with a 2nd and 3.
Now it's Wilson. Throw left side complete. That's Williams. Now another timeout called for by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime.
Let's do this, man. Let's go, fellas.
Now Wilson on first down. He finds his man complete. That's Patrick. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll leave him with a 2nd and just a few inches left.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. A good gain on first has him set up with 2nd and just a couple of inches now from the 29. Now Wilson. Throwing the out route and complete. It's Patrick. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down.
And I don't think there's any question that this offense is going to need to hit on a few more plays like this. It's been a difficult first half for them, to say the least. And I do believe if they want to get back in this game, they need to start right now. It's kind of like making adjustments. If you try and wait until the half, it's probably too late. They need to get going right here.
And that will wind up just short. He had it online. It ran out of gas at the end, and they will remain well behind.
And now 2 problems as I see it. First, you missed the kick, which granted was a long one. But second, you set the other guys up with great field position and enough time to maybe get downfield and get a field goal attempt of their own.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Can't do that.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started.
And with decent starting field position, there may be only a couple completions away from field goal range.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Garoppolo. It's caught here by Adams. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we now proceed to the start of the second half. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. The Raiders with the lead already, and they will get the football here as the second half is now underway.
Fielded just outside the goal line. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. The Raider offense ready to go here to start the third quarter. Well, it's hard to imagine the first half going any better for them, CD, and now here as they begin their first series of the second half. I mean, they score here. This one, it's pretty much out of reach.
We honestly might already be at that point, partner, because this team, they were dominant in the first half, continue to be dominant now, and I think they're viewing this as a put-away drive on their way to a lopsided victory.
On the ground, Jacobs will get the third quarter started. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin too.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. They'll stay on the ground with Jacobs. He takes this for 3 to the 29.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Let's go do this thing, baby. Let's go, man. Let's go.
A nickel set defensively for the Broncos here on 3rd down. Throwing now is Garoppolo. And finding the tight end Hooper. And he is going to have the Raiders first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them. And these guys have been taking advantage so far.
Here we go.
Throwing on first is Garoppolo. Over the middle, he's got Myers. And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line.
One of the selling points of the in route is it gives the quarterback a really nice sight line to his receiver and almost on a direct shot able to throw the ball into the middle of the field and have a great chance of success as they did on that play.
Only needing 2 yards on 2nd down. They'll run right here with Jacobs. He'll lose a yard on the play, so now they need 3 yards on 3rd down.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
Delay of game, offense.
Hey, y'all, what's up?
That flag accepted, and it backs the offense up a little bit.
Still 3rd down.
And the delay of game penalty makes this much more difficult. 3rd and 8. Garoppolo looks to throw. He's got Hooper on the out route. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos 37. The drive stays intact with a pickup of 13. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging into our second half blowout material. Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10, and he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
The way things have gone in this one, the running game's been something of an afterthought, and that's not been too bad for them, has it?
Yeah, the offensive returns have been good, but I guess we figured he in the ground game would be a bit more involved. 2nd and 7, operating from the 34. Play action, Garoppolo. And this is incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up, not that time. So third down now. They need the 27-yard line for a first. Looking to throw, Garoppolo. He's got a man open. It's Hunter Renfrow. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 12-yard line. A gain of 22.
This is just more of the same. This defense has had no answer on a lot of these throws. They've let these receivers run wild, and here's another completion for good yardage.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Back to the running game with Jacobs.
And he swallowed up right near the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down.
Now that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater. He just made a great play there.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Once again, it's Jacobs. And here he'll get it down to the 7. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized.
Here's Garoppolo to throw. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Let's give this defense some credit now. They let the guys get downfield, but when push came to shove, they stood their ground, and now they'll likely force a field goal attempt.
Fourth down, and on comes the Raider kicker, Daniel Carlson. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. Carlson able to put this one through, and that will extend their lead even further. So after 4 touchdowns in the game for this offense, this time they're forced into taking the 3.
But you did mention 4 touchdowns, right? So 4 out of 5, not too bad. I think that's a pretty good record for them.
After the made field goal, Carlson now sets up to kick this away. Taken from about the 12. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. So now a look at the Broncos as they head back out there for their first possession of the second half. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
They'll throw on first down with Wilson. He completes this to Sutton. And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards. And that'll bring up second down. Now they'll toss it out right to Williams. And this defense able to plug him up there as he'll get a yard to the 35. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his third down play as we've played 3 quarters. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Welcome back now to Denver. And this offense on third down today, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. Here it's 3rd and 3. Wilson. He's got a man. It's Sutton. That's complete. And he will have a Broncos first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. He'll get this one to Patrick. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20.
And with this game well in hand, perhaps we are seeing the coverage lighten up a little bit as they got burned there a bit for a first down.
But we certainly know the coach isn't happy along the sideline because he certainly wants them to finish this one out the way they started it. He doesn't want to give up any soft completions, no late points. He wants this lead to stay right where it is.
And he'll be taken down at about the 22-yard line.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on first down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a second and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone.
2nd down and 3.
Now Wilson.
Same connection. Dulcich once again.
Touchdown, Broncos.
Greg Dulcich.
A 22-yard touchdown grab.
And the Broncos are finally into the end zone here in this 4th quarter. So they get their tight end away from the line to the outside, and he works his way in for 6.
Tight ends are not just blockers anymore. I don't know how many more times we need examples, but here's a great one. Gets to the outside, they give him the ball pretty quickly, and they trust him to get those extra yards, and boy, did he come through, bowling his way into the end zone after the nice catch.
So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. And the hands team for the Raiders able to secure it. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we've brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Let's go, fellas. Let's go. Guys ready to get it on right now? Here we go, here we go.
They will run out of the gun with Jacobs. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
2nd down, Jacobs once more.
Able to push forward for about 4 down to the 37.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
The Broncos going dime. 2 extra defensive backs for 3rd down.
Playing pass all the way.
Now Garoppolo.
Throw left side, taken in by Renfro. And he is going to have the Raiders first down as he'll be marked down a yard or 2 past the marker following a gain of 6.
When you have someone throwing it that well, that confidently, you don't have to call the game in fear at all, do you? You just go ahead and play.
Yep, confidence with a lead to throw it here in the 4th, and boom, he's on the money.
Yeah, you don't have to tuck your head in and go like turtle at this point. You can just go ahead and play.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. A handoff. Jacobs running to the left. And room there to work it inside the 25. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. And I just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. That's a jet sweep. This is Adams. And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose. It's picked up by the Broncos. And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line.
Well, maybe it hasn't exactly been a Rembrandt, but they've been mistake-free to this point and finally cough it up. I don't think it's going to cost them the game. They should be fine. But, boy, they're going to hate that, going back and watching tape and being able to say we were that close to achieving our goal of 0 turnovers during the game.
A little blemish, but as you say, still comfortably in command.
And now before the ball changes hands, they're going to take a look at this just to make sure that they have it right.
The previous play is under review.
Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of the football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. So they recover their own fumble. Now they face 3rd and short.
A shotgun snap for Garoppolo. And that one goes incomplete on the drop. That's one he definitely normally catches. 4th down.
Well, 4th quarter with a 3-score lead here, Charles, but they're still going back to the air and looking for more points.
Well, with this game well in hand, it's an opportunity for the guys to come off the bench and get a chance to play. And a lot of coaches, they want to run their full playbook no matter who's on the field.
The kick by Carlson is good, and that will extend their lead even further.
Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so that you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
After the made field goal, Carlson now sets up to kick this away.
Fields it right around the goal line. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17.
And Denver getting set to take the field.
Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
Throwing now, Wilson on 1st down.
Throw over the middle, taken in by Dulcich.
And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a 1st down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Bronco football as we get you reset here. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score.
Wilson's throw taken in here by Patrick.
And that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, You're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
From the 45 on second down, Wilson.
Throw to the right, caught by Dulcich.
And he's going to have another first down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 33. A good pickup there, a 22.
Well, this game is certainly pretty well over. They'd go ahead and mark it in the win column. But as a defense, they don't want to get so soft now that everybody just throws the ball all over the place against them, gets big yardage, and puts points on the board. They have pride, too, on that side of the ball.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
To give you an idea of how accurate he's been throwing the football, we're in the second half. That's just his second incompletion.
Well, if he's that locked in, that means everyone's locked in, because to me it's like throwing a no-hitter in baseball. The pitcher may get the credit, but a lot of people making plays behind him in the field.
To throw on second and 10. Wilson into double coverage, and it's intercepted. And the Raiders are going to get this back to their own 34-yard line.
All smiles and high fives on that defensive sideline. That interception will cap off what was truly a tremendous performance.
Yeah, if you can hold a team to 7 points in the NFL, that's the kind of day that you feel really good about. Now, I do know a few guys are going to think to themselves, held them to 7. If we'd made one more play, could have had our shutout.
The Raiders offense now, they trot back out. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point.
Let's go, y'all.
From the 34 now, here's first and 10. They'll begin on the ground with Jacobs. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up second and 5.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
After the pickup of 5, here's second and 5. Jacobs going to try the middle. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. 7 yards there and a first down. So this one a victory for the Las Vegas Raiders. And we talked so much about the turnover battle determining who wins and who loses. This game, no exception. They didn't turn the ball over at all, and they go on to victory.
They look like a smooth operation in this one, didn't they? Because you look at every facet of the game, they handled their business. Offense took care of the football, converted it into points. Defense took the ball away, gave it back to the offense. Special teams, right there with them. That's the type of game a coach is going to really love and value. And when they show the film, they have to be careful not to give out too many kudos and kill their motivation going forward.